The Beatles Anthology series is the best-selling record project in the history of music, appealing to every active record buyer across the board.
It's a release for our generation, too. And for anyone who hasn't seen the cover yet, this is the Anthology. I bought 2 of them.
Breaking new ground again, 30 years later.
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Beatles continue to break new ground in the 90s, designated the #1 selling band of 1995 according to NARM, and are now positioned to be the biggest selling band of 1996.
This is what we're talking about. This is the Beatles. This is the band that made all the best.
The Anthology campaign kicked off with a highly charged and emotional 3-night documentary on the A Beatles C television network. "4 years in the making, the primetime series debuted the first new recordings from John, Paul, George, and Ringo in 25 years. It was a ratings smash. In just the first night, it finished #1 and captured over 100 million viewers over its 3-night run. In conjunction with the Beatles Network series came the release of Anthology 1, the most anticipated album in music history. Capitol Records and Apple Corps deployed troops from UPS for an unprecedented overnight delivery of Volume 1 to thousands of retailers across the United States. The record pressing plant shifted into overdrive, working around the clock to meet this extraordinary demand. Thousands of fans stood by overnight in anticipation of grabbing their piece of rock and roll history.
It's great. I mean, after 25 years, they're back again.
I'd stand outside and wait for tapes of Paul McCartney singing in the bathtub.
The result? The fastest-selling recording of all time.
There's no way to describe the feeling that this stuff does for me.
Nearly 400,000 copies of Anthology 1 were purchased during the first 24 hours, a rate of nearly 300 copies sold every minute. By the end of the first week, the Beatles had broken Pearl Jam's record for the fastest-selling recording ever. Nearly 2.4 million CDs were sold, and it was just the beginning. Boosted by an unprecedented media and advertising campaign, the likes of which the record industry had never witnessed, the Beatles were everywhere. From primetime sitcoms
all right, buy me the Beatles Anthology.
Keep your right to work.
to game shows.
Here are the categories. The Beatles.
And sporting events.
Are you ready for some football? Yeah! Yeah!
There was no escaping the frenzy. Anthology 1 also established the benchmark for media placement and marketing creativity. Strategic research determined the Beatles as the #1 most popular band with readers of Spin magazine and Rolling Stone, as well as a favorite of MTV viewers and nearly every popular radio station format. Critics raved unanimously. When Volume 2 hit the streets in March, even bigger guns were deployed. Capitol Records utilized a host of alternative marketing vehicles to serve as pre-orders and consumer excitement.
I came here because I love the Beatles.
Retailers came to the table in a big way with commercials and extra disc promotions. MCI sponsored a Beatles Magical Mystery Tour contest, sending a lucky winner around the world to historical Beatles sites on 4 continents. Ticketmaster envelope stuffers, Sears in-store advertising, Cineplex Odeon movie trailers, placements on the CNN Airport Network, and sponsorship on the Grammy Awards rounded out the mega campaign. Retailers also included customized promotions and value-added merchandise. The result? Anthology 2 debuted at #1 on the Billboard music charts. By the time the first week sales for Anthology 2 soared over 500,000, nearly 500 million people had seen exclusive Beatle footage delivered via satellite on every major television network in the United States.
And the Beatles have a new CD out.
Next, new music from the Beatles.
You're at A Beatles C.
You say goodbye
and I say hello.
Bolstered by a multi-million-dollar ad campaign for radio, print, and television, the feature stories and reviews reinforce the Fab Four as having no equal.
Hello, I don't know why you say goodbye, I say hello. Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs.
Volume 2's first release week also saw 9 Beatle recordings hit the Billboard catalog chart, including the #1 catalog album in the country.
1, 2, 3, 4. I need somebody.
Anyone who had associated themselves with the Beatles were also a hit. And with the release of Volume 3 set for the fall, as well as the Beatles' home video, the next year's momentum is likely to be just as infectious. Volume 3 includes songs from the final years of the group's studio work, brilliant outtakes and special versions from the White Album, Abbey Road, and the classic Let It Be. The video series will include 8 cassette tapes with over 10 hours of never-released footage, nearly twice as much as seen on the television series. Volume 3 and the home video series promise to take the project to even greater heights.
Really glad that most of the songs dealt with love, peace, understanding.
It always goes back to the music, to the personalities.
I mean, it is both a record, a video, a television program, a book, and no doubt somewhere down the line it will also be a t-shirt.
You haven't seen or heard everything yet.
Won't you